Aum Vivikta Desha Asino Virago Vijitendriyaha Bhavaye Dekamatmanang Tam Anantam Ananyadhihi. Vivikta Desha, in a solitary place. Asino, seated. Virago, free from desires. Vijitendriyaha, controlling the senses. Bhavayet, meditate. Ekam, one. Ātmanang, on the self. Tam, that. Anantam, endless. Ananyadhihi, with unswerving attention. Sitting in a solitary place, free from desires and controlling the senses, meditate on Ātman, that one without a second, with unswerving attention. Namaste. Now, this is one of these verses that states the obvious. One should meditate on Brahman. Why? Because as we discussed in several other videos, the business of sadhana is to create many, many impressions, saṅkāras, thoughts in the mind, on the topic of Brahman. Again, why? Because this is how we become Brahman. Not really become, but how our sense of identity changes from being the empirical self, the ego, limited by the body and mind, to the unlimited, eternal Brahman. Here he talks about the endless Brahman. Brahman has no end. It has no boundary, either in space or in time. Because Brahman is one, ekam. Because it is one and has no differences within it, it is limitless, without end. So this is our preferred state of being. Not boxed in, caged in to this small, limited body and its tiny senses and stupid mind, but to have unlimited existence, unlimited knowledge and consciousness, and unlimited pleasure and bliss as Brahman. Because deep down, that is already what we are. If you get rid of neti, all the layers of conditioned consciousness that surround us, then when we come to the core, we are nothing but pure, unconditioned awareness. We can say this again and again. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman alone. Brahman I am. Aham, I am. Brahman, the Brahman, asmi, I am. So it's something like the quote from the Bible, I am that which I am. I am Brahman, that I am. So to repeat this again and again is the key to realizing Brahman, because the mind should be filled with impressions of the quality of Brahman, not of the quality of conditioned consciousness, like I am this body, or I identify with the senses. One of the words in this verse, virago, it always seemed odd to me that virago became a name of a motorcycle. because it means freedom from desire and attachment. Raga is attachment. Attachment to a specific mood, a specific emotion, a specific feeling. And this is the Vishnu Granthi. This is the block on the heart that is right about here in the chakras. And it stops us from exploring things that we consider undesirable. Instead, we want to focus on that which is desirable, thinking that we'll get pleasure from that. But to be stuck on one particular mood or one particular point of view on anything is actually not at all freedom, not at all pleasure, but quite the opposite. It's being trapped, being stuck by a knot. Granthi literally means a knot. So this knot in our chakras, in our energy flow, is stopping us from exploring the higher possibilities, the greater awareness, the infinite expansion of Brahman. Brahman includes that which we like and also that which we don't like. That is Brahman with qualities. But when we get even higher, when we surpass the Rudra Granthi, and we no longer consider ourselves an individual, an ego, a limited being at all, then all these distinctions become completely irrelevant. Good, bad, pleasure, pain, right, wrong, here, there. There's something about being in the qualitative Brahman that feels like motion. And of course, it's driven by time. Time is ticking away every second, every minute, every day, removing our span of life, little bit at a time, until it's finished, and then we have to get a new body. This is samsara. This is the trap. And the trap is based on the idea that I am an individual. I am limited. I am an ego. I am one among many. Whereas identification with Brahman results in the consciousness that I am all. I am one without a second. There is no other to cause me suffering. So I have no suffering. See, this is Brahman. Complete freedom from suffering, from identification, from limitation, from ignorance, from all the things that make our life uncomfortable and difficult. So how do we get there? Well, we don't get there because we are there. We are already Brahman. So if we simply remove the coverings that limit us, the upadhis, one by one, until we get to the central upadhi, which is, I am an individual. I am a separate being. I am different from Brahman. When that one goes, there you are, as you always have been and always will be, pure Brahman, with no other, alone, but complete. Who needs the other when the other is simply a cause of pain and difficulty? Why don't we instead condition the mind with the idea that I am one, I am all, I am everything, I am Brahman? This is the purpose of this meditation. Now, a few things. It mentions one should sit in a lonely place where one will not be disturbed. The idea is that one should not break concentration. One should remain as long as possible in this mood, in this mindset, and keep one's attention span ever growing, focused on Brahman, and spend longer and longer time in that state. The Buddha used to call this pleasant abiding, that one goes off by oneself, sits down, and concentrates on, well, in his teaching, it's called Nibbana. But in the Advaita teaching, it's called Brahman. But it's the very same thing, the exact same state of being. An emptiness which is also fullness. So therefore, one should cultivate the jhanas by which one gradually empties the mind. And it's the same thing as neti getting rid of upadhis. One comes to the state where the mind is perfectly empty, but at the same time, it's perfectly full of consciousness alone. Not consciousness of something, but pure consciousness, one without a second, a subject without an object. This is turiya. And when it becomes permanent, it's turiyatita, the turiya of turiya. So the Buddha used to send his disciples off into isolated places where they would not be disturbed, and they can concentrate on Nibbana or Brahman without any disturbance for like the whole day. And this was Buddha's program. Now, of course, nowadays, the monks don't follow this at all. What do they do instead? Well, all kinds of nonsense. I won't go into it, but let's just say they don't really follow the Buddha's lifestyle or instructions. It's become a show only. And so they simply dupe unqualified people into thinking they're in Nibbana by putting on a nice show. But actually, it's just a business. Just like the temples in India, the ashrams in India. You know, you have to pay. It's like a hotel. You go and you pay something and you stay there. And then there's a little mock show of some rituals or some meditations or somebody's lecturing or something like that. So we should use the scriptures as a basis for our own inner conversation, for our own meditations, like guided meditations on Brahman. This is why I emphasize going to the original scriptures so much, because they can kickstart this inner conversation. And meditating on this, like I am Brahman, I have no qualities, I have no boundaries, I am not an individual, I am one single whole, a subject only with no object, etc., etc. All the things that we talk about in these videos, you can discuss with yourself in your own mind. And this is also the ontic conversation, or that meditation that leads to complete self-realization. Aum Tat Sat. Aum Shakti Aum. Aum Namah Shivaya.